Happy Memorial Day at the time I'm recording this. You might be watching this at a time when it's not Memorial Day, but it's raining outside, so I just thought it was fitting for another video from Sound of the Rain. So I want to talk about, in the last video I mentioned, having challenges or making Christian music being hard, is hard. I say was because I've actually had some consistency on some material that I've been writing for a project lately called tRAIGNing Day. So it's getting better for me, but it still does have its challenges. But what I mean by that is that when I write anything outside of something that's I want to say dedicated to God content wise, because God gets glory in all I do, but if I'm writing something that's like faith-based or Christian, outside of that, it's a lot easier for me, because even if it's subconsciously, part of my motivation is for me to sound amazing. I want people to hear me rap and to hear me sing and to hear me perform and think like, dang, this is fire, So it's kind of almost it molds and influences what I'm writing. When I'm doing my Christian music, not so much. I'm more so concerned with pleasing God and being sound theologically, and that's part of a challenge in itself. But and just making music that sounds good, but more concerned with I don't know, it's almost like I'm tiptoeing or playing it safe when I make Christian music, if that makes any sense. So I approach it differently. Like, for instance, the song that I wrote called We Good, it's got a really southern trap style to it, and I'm done writing the song. I actually had wanted to record it today, but I'm spending some time with the family. But as I was like listening to it, like, what I'll do is I'll play the instrumental and just kind of like sing the song out loud or in my head, and think of what little things I can add to it. And as I was doing that, I had some ideas for some things that would be appreciated more on a local level. They didn't detract from the song spiritually, doctrine-wise. They didn't, and it wasn't glorification of myself. It was me being proud of where I was from. And then at that moment, I almost had like a light bulb go off, like, dang, you know what? I can add some pizzazz or some spice to, when I'm rapping about the Lord. Because even, I'll give y'all an example. There's a song I did called Who This? This was part of a mixtape I was working on called I Wish I Was J. Cole. And on the song, at its root, the core of the song is really me glorifying the Lord. But there's a lot of also braggadocio rap. And then I'll have like lines where I'll come back to it and say like, Jesus Christ is King. But 3 bars before that, I'm telling you how much better of a rapper I am than anyone else, and the dope part of it was the parts where I'm bragging about myself, so for this project, there won't be any of that, it'll be content based, It'll be, you know, each song has a topic or a theme. There's one song that I'm be working on where I'm barring out, but it's different. It's from, I mean, I haven't even written it yet. You know, this was going to be a challenge for me, but I want to bar out. I want it to be so like, God, dog, like just killing it. But what I'm saying, nothing points to me. Nothing points back to me. Nothing glorifies me, you know. And it's almost like the listener's conflicted, like they're getting as much of a as of what I'm saying as I'm talking about the Lord, as well as like the bars are sick. You know, that's what I'm going for. That one's gonna be called what is it? Sacrificial offering, or it's something like that. I think it's sacrificial offering. I can't remember. But yeah. Another thing that's challenging as far as like sometimes I have a hard time relaying things that I have in my head, things that I can feel, things that I can think, actually verbalizing them. And so even with my faith, I know what I believe. I know the gospel, but sometimes getting it out and sharing it and saying things, I have a really hard time. And that's not just about like God, it's about like anything, you know. And so it makes it hard. And sometimes I don't feel qualified to be a Christian rapper, because I don't feel like I can relay the message of theological truth as well as some other people that I hear do it. There goes comparison. But then I just have to also understand that, like, well, this is just the lane that I'm in. And all of us as human beings have different qualities and different traits. You know, Moses had a stuttering problem, so God gave him his brother to translate, you know. Whether Moses was capping or not because of fear, I don't know. But it's also, I'm not going to let that stop me, because the part of the reason, well, I'm not going to go too in depth of the project, the title and the meaning behind it, but it's pretty deep. But I will say that the title Training Day goes along with me training and learning more and understanding more about the Lord. And as a listener, you will kind of go on that journey with me. You know, because from this project to 3 projects from now, there'll be a difference, you know, quality wise, because I will have hoping that I've gotten better as an artist, concept wise, but then also, you know, my theological understanding of things. I find the Bible very intimidating to read and to understand, you know, all the words. And I'm talking about it from like, if you take a hardback or you saw an actual book, and just the format of it, just all the words, and just like my mind sees it and just like, ugh. And I know there's different avenues and different resources to assist with that. And those are things that I embrace and things that I'm using to help me. But it's almost, you feel like to step into this world, you have to be at a certain point or a certain level. And I have a lot of respect for artists that rap about Christ, that is at their sole topic. There's a lot of artists I think that are really dope, talent and skill wise, and even the way that they approach it. And I can't do it like them. I can't, because I'm not them, and I don't have the point of view, or I don't know, man. I feel like I'm not setting out to be different. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really familiar with a lot of Christian rap music. Most of the Christian music I listen to, like if it comes on our local contemporary Christian radio station, stuff like Mercy Me or Brandon Heath, that kind of music. But as far as like rappers, like I don't listen to a lot of music, period. Just a heads up. You know, I'm more of a podcast, YouTube kind of guy. You know, my era and phase of life listening to music is kind of done. You know, but I still love making it, you know, and if I come across it and hear it, and it's, you know, likable to my ears, I'll definitely listen to it, you know. But it's just a feeling that I get. Like Seven, I'll say he's probably my favorite Christian rapper. And not even just rapping wise, just as an artist, like the singing and stuff. And one of my favorite songs in life is his song called Surrender. And I've listened to it and it brings me to tears, you know. And I don't want to try to write content like that because that's his story. I hear it and it's like a song like, man, I wish I wrote this, you know, but I love it and I appreciate it because, man, I just get like it's just like a feeling when you have a relationship with the Lord and you hear songs about him and it talks about certain things about his goodness and his love and his grace and his mercy and just how awesome he is, man. I just start to like feel it. And that doesn't require like some type of lyrical bravado to share and display. But I think it can be done in a way that is like, you know, there's wordplay and wittiness and stuff like that. A lot of people are really good at that, like, you know, like Bizzle. You know, he's another one of my my favorite Christian rappers. But you know, I'm not on a mission to have my own lane. I just want to do me and I just want to glorify God. So, you know, my goal and intent is that as I continue my walk with him, you know, definitely in a more serious fashion, it will spill off into if the content that I'm making is about him and glorifying him, it also is motivation for me to seek and understand and learn and know more about him. And it's not that I'm just reading and studying about him just so I can rap about it, but it kind of goes hand in hand. You know, at my local church, there's a men's Bible study that I recently about a month ago it ended. But it was such a lovely experience, man. And just like to hear, to sit with other men that love God and talk about the Lord and different walks of life, different backgrounds, different cultures, but we all had in common that we love Jesus and we're here to learn more about him. And to connect on that level and to just, you know, build friendships and, you know, it's a beautiful thing, you know. And just the level of knowledge that some of these gentlemen had about the Lord was so impressive to me, and I want to be like that. But I've never, man, as far as like learning and understanding stuff, I've never been one to delve deep into something unless I'm like super interested in it, like the lore of like God of War, Metal Gear. You know what I'm saying? Like anything else, like surface wise, like even like the fact I make tutorial videos about GarageBand, I still, a lot of the things that I teach in those videos, I don't even remember how to do. Seriously. It's like I can do them and I did them when I recorded the video, but as far as retaining stuff, you know, sometimes I have a problem with it. So yeah, man, but I'm excited, you know, to get this song We Good recorded and get it out to y'all, and just continue to make videos and just share my journey through this process, you know. Yeah, thanks for your time. Happy Memorial Day, and peace.